Thank you, Dr. Deepamala, Dr. Vaidehi Gupta, and Sahani sir. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is the 1473rd day of continuous webinar conducted by International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy. Today, our guest is Professor Dr. Aparna Sandeep Parikh. We welcome all to this session and let's end with 1 minute silent prayer. Thank you all. As you all know, the International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy comprises of homeopathic well-wishers, homeopathy students and doctors, and we have 3 sessions every day, 7:30 to 8:30, our Hindi session, 8:30 to 9:30, the international session in English, and 9:30 to 10:30, a local language session in Malayalam. So all these sessions are going in a good way, and we are uploading the videos of the session on the very next day itself. And those who misses any of this can watch it again and again at YouTube, and you can subscribe it by searching IFPH Homeopathy. So let me introduce the guest of the day, Professor Dr. Aparna Sandeep Parikh, has completed MD Homeopathy, and then she's doing PhD study, Department of Repertory, Srimati K.B. Abad, Homeopathic Medical College, Nasik, Maharashtra. And she is running a clinic also at the Parikh Homeopathy Clinic at Nasik, Maharashtra. And she has more than 24 years of teaching experience as well as professional experience. She is working in many fields as a guide to PG students, and she is a nodal officer at CCR, member of Health Science Education Technology Research Methodology of MUHS Nasik, and a member review board MUSH, and member MOH committee MUHS, and editor of the book Trends in Medical Science under Integrative International. And she has published some of the books also. And she is also coordinator at the college, and she's the Facebook coordinator, website coordinator, member of various college committees, and she's working as the assistant NSS program officer also, and so many. She has won many awards, honored with the best contribution in the institution on 2022, and honored with the Young Achiever Award from INCSC Bangalore on 2022, honored with the Homeo Gaurav Sammayal 2023 at Pune, and honored with the Nobel Indian Eminent Professor Award 2024 in recognition of the consistent superior performances in homeopathic repertory. Women Icon Award 2024 from Women World Records, and she won awards of internationals in 2024 also. She has published paper in various national as well as international journals, a book publication, Solving Emotional Issues Naturally Through 38 Flower Remedies. She's a resource person at various levels, national as well as international level. As you all know, today we will be discussing about infertility and homeopathy. Lot of presentations are there in our forum on this particular subject, but every presentation has a different thing to look into. As you all know, the homeopathy is one of the best thing that can do a lot of work for women, and particularly at menarche, menopause, and whatever be the condition, even at infertility. A lot of doctors have thousands of successful cases in the kitty. So let us invite the guest of the day, Professor Dr. Aparna Sandeep Parikh, to this session. Welcome, madam.
Welcome. Thank you, sir. First of all, good evening to everyone. And I'm very much thankful to Dhanesh sir for giving such a long introduction of me. And first of all, also very much thankful to Sahani sir for giving me a platform to share my knowledge about the infertility. So, can I share my screen, sir?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, it's coming up.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, visible. Everything fine.
Okay. Slideshow is.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay. So today my topic is infertility. As it is a common problem nowadays, so first everybody has knowledge about what is the definition of infertility. So infertility is defined as inability to conceive or carry a pregnancy in a very short definition. And it is diagnosed when a primary infertility, it is divided into two, primary infertility and secondary infertility. Primary infertility is when it is diagnosed when a couple has not conceived after 12 months of trying. And secondary infertility is when diagnosed when a couple fails to get pregnant again after having a children. That means the patient has not conceived after marriage, that is primary infertility. Secondary infertility, that means the patient has delivered one child or two child, and if she wants another child, so unable to conceive second time, that is called as the secondary infertility. So, as seen that infertility affects up to 15% of couples trying to conceive. It might be caused by female or male factors or both sometimes. So if we provide prompt treatment, most couples do successfully conceive and have healthy babies. So we have seen that these infertility rates have doubled in the last 50 years. As a result, roughly only 1 in every 6 couples having difficulty getting pregnant. About 33% of infertility cases are due to female factors. Another 33% due to male factors. And the remaining 33% come from a combination of both. Some 84% of couples succeed to conceive naturally. That means they have not taken any treatment. After 2 years of active attempts, about 92% get pregnant naturally. So there are some chances that they get pregnant naturally, but in some cases, we have to provide the treatment. Whatever may be the treatment, either allopathic treatment they get, but we are today talking about the homeopathic treatment. So what are the signs and symptoms of infertility? Besides not being able to conceive, there are rarely any other clear of symptoms of infertility. As a result, many couples discover fertility problems once they try to conceive with no success. Women may notice symptoms of irregular periods that might indicate that ovulation is not occurring properly. They include irregular, absent, heavy, or painful periods. In case of men might report problems with sexual function, such as erectile or ejaculation issues, loss of libido, and testicular pain or swelling. Infertility signs used to pinpoint its underlying cause, which are obtained through infertility tests, such as in women, signs are abnormal levels of reproductive hormones, estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, or high or low thyroid hormone levels, positive screening for STDs, blockage or damage to the reproductive organs such as fallopian tubes, which is the most common cause of infertility. And in men, the signs are abnormal semen analysis, testosterone imbalance, atypical testicular biopsy, and genetic abnormalities are also there. So these are the infertility signs and symptoms. Now, what are the causes of infertility? Under the causes, in female, there are some ovulation problems, either hormonal imbalance, polycystic ovarian syndrome, obesity, or low ovarian reserve. And this abnormal ovulation account for up to 40% of infertility cases. The underlying cause of abnormal ovulation is hormonal imbalance brought about by a number of health conditions, such as hypothalamic or pituitary dysfunction, polycystic ovarian syndrome, premature ovarian failure, and hyperprolactinemia. Some causes such as reproductive organ damage. So what are those causes? Sometimes damage or blockage to the reproductive organs, which prevents the egg from reaching or implanting in the uterus, or disabling sperm from reaching the egg. These infertility causes are most commonly due to, number one, either endometriosis, pelvic inflammatory disease, or STDs. The another cause, that is the main cause, that is uterine or cervical problems. Anatomical abnormalities within the uterus or cervix, which affect the quality of cervical mucus, designed to aid sperm transport and or prevent implantation of the egg, thus increasing the risk of miscarriage among others. So, and about the male infertility, I have told you about the male infertility. So under female infertility, these are the causes, and male infertility, these are the causes. So now we will see something about the male infertility. Male factor infertility account for a third of all infertility cases alone, and up to a half if combined with female factors. Signs and symptoms we have discussed, and causes we have discussed. So in male, the special causes which I have mentioned here, if the male is suffering from STDs, diabetes, varicocele, obesity, hormonal imbalance, toxin or heat exposure, or trauma. These are the sperm abnormalities which are one of the important cause of infertility in a male. For this, some tests have to be done. So some tests such as physical examination, semen analysis, most common are blood test, physical examination, or semen analysis. And other tests, we have to perform ultrasound, testicular biopsy, and genetic testing. And under the treatment, we have to do the lifestyle changes. We have to replace the supplements in the form of vitamins and herbal. And lastly, the medication and surgery. And under the infertility treatment, in the majority of cases, infertility treatment show effective in resolving the underlying causes. So, how to resolve these underlying causes? They can include, if we do some lifestyle adjustment, such as if the person is suffering from too much stress, if the person is obesity, so if we tell them to reduce the weight, these are the lifestyle adjustment. This also include healthy body mass index. The patients have to keep the body mass index proper, otherwise they will suffer from infertility. We have to also tell them about the proper nutrition, quitting smoking because it also causes the infertility, and drinking alcohol, exercising regularly, and reducing stress through yoga or meditation. So sometimes when we will do all this, remove all these causes, the patient become conceive naturally. Now, if the patient do not conceive naturally, at that time we need some alternative medicine in the form of homeopathic medicine. Now, I will talk more about the homeopathic treatment. So what homeopathic treatment we will provide for this infertility patients? So in homeopathy, actually, we do the individualization. So there is an individualization treatment. It emphasizes personalized treatment in which a homeopath would assess the individual's overall health, emotional state, lifestyle, and specific symptoms to determine the best remedy. As we know that we concentrate more on physical journals and mental journals in homeopathy. So if we individualize the patient through the general symptoms, either mental journals or physical general symptoms, we can remove the cause and we can treat the infertility cases. I am discussing here first some constitutional remedies which are present in homeopathy. The first remedy is the CPR. This CPR remedy is often recommended. Actually, all this remedy I am explaining you on the basis of my experience. I have treated the infertility cases with the help of all 4 remedies more other than different remedies. So with the help of CPR, I have treated several cases in those women who have a feeling of heaviness in the pelvic area, or if they are experiencing hormonal imbalance. If we prescribe CPR constitutional remedy, the patient consume with the help of CPR. Now, natrum muriaticum, this is another remedy, sometimes used for emotional states related to infertility or for women with a history of grief or unresolved emotional issue. As we know that natrum mur is very much related to emotional issues. So, if we prescribe natrum mur for sterility or infertility, the patient get consumed. Now, lycopodium is also one other remedy that may be considered if there are concerns about low self-esteem, lack of confidence, unable to perform on the stage, or if the patient is suffering from digestive issues accompanying with infertility. The lycopodium is a very good remedy as a constitutional for the infertility patient. Pulsatilla is also another female remedy typically used for women with irregular menstrual cycles or those who are emotionally sensitive. We can prescribe the pulsatilla. So these are the experiences with this remedy which I am explaining you here. Other than this, there are several remedies which I am explaining you today. One remedy which is Abroma radix mother tincture. If we prescribe this remedy in 5 drops doses 3 times a day, from the first day of menstrual flow for 7 days, it will cure dysmenorrhea if present and will bring on conception if intercourse is performed after cessation of menses. I have experienced the role of this remedy in few of my patients. But this is a very good remedy, Abroma radix Q. The another remedy is called as Agnus castus. If we prescribe this remedy only 1 dose a day, 5 drops in water in cases of infertility due to scanty menses. If the person has a scanty menses or leukorrhea, and if the patient has a strong dislike for intercourse, Agnus castus works very well. The third remedy is in the form of mother tincture. This remedy tones up the uterus if infertility is due to number 1, anemia, prolapse, leukorrhea, rectal distress, premature and profuse menses with labor-like pains. In this case also, I have given Aletris for Q, and as you know how to prescribe the mother tincture, you can prescribe in your way. Another remedy is Aurum mur natronatum 3x. In this remedy, if infertility on account of organic defects in the uterus and prolapse, cervix is hardened, ulceration of the womb and vagina, and inflammation of the uterine membrane. If these symptoms are there, you can prescribe. I have experienced this in one case, Aurum mur natronatum 3x. How the dosage has been given, it depends on you. What is the susceptibility? On the basis of sensitivity, you can prescribe the medicine. A very important drug which we have studied in our UG education, borax. It favors early conception on correction of diseases connected with menses. In this remedy, leukorrhea like white of an egg, its warm liquid destroyed the mobility of sperms and the patient experiences infertility. When we prescribe this medicine, in whatever potency you prescribe, the patient conceives very early. A very important remedy, which I have not discussed in the constitutional remedy. So this remedy is also a very good remedy. But in this remedy, when the patient is experiencing copious menses and increase of fat in the abdomen, only on the basis of I have prescribed and the patient got pregnant. Another remedy, very good remedy, because most of the cases are now, they have tubal blockage, either right side or the left side. If the fallopian tubes are blocked, we can prescribe Eopinum 3, that is centesimal potency. If you prescribe this medicine, the blockage gets open and patient conceives. Another biochemical medicine which I want to discuss is Califos 6x and Calcarea Flor 6x. Along with the indicated remedy, a dose of these remedies combined together, that is 3 grains each, helps. And in cases of weak uterus, Viburnum opulus Q, a dose a day, it works as a uterine tonic. So, if the uterus is very weak, we can prescribe Viburnum opulus mother tincture, a dose a day, single dose a day, and it works as a uterine tonic. Another remedy is the lachesis. As we have seen that lachesis is always left-sided, but I have treated a case, the patient has a right-side blockage, and in right-sided blockage of fallopian tube, lachesis worked, and the patient was experiencing burning in the right ovary, and the uterus was bent. Another very good remedy, it is a very good remedy, natrum carb. In obstinate cases of infertility, when cervix is hardened, semen doesn't retain. Lots of cases I have seen the semen doesn't retain in the vagina and the vaginal walls are defective in growth. You can prescribe natrum carb also. Phosphorus. When the patient has excessive sexual desire, menses too early but scanty and long lasting. Polypus of the uterus, discharge corrosive. When the discharge is corrosive, phosphorus acts very well. Platinum mate, it also works very well, and the patient has increased sexual desire, pain in the ovaries, and uterus with leukorrhea. A very good remedy, Sabal Cerulata. Infertility due to enlarged ovaries, which are tender. Breast shriveled, shrunken, or withered. See, whenever you get a patient having breast shriveled, shrunken, and withered, and complaining of infertility, you can give Sabal Cerulata. These patients married late and had suppressed sexual desire, may have been led astray out of the right way. They avoided conception and they are married late. At that time, you can prescribe the Sabal Cerulata mother tincture. Sepia, which we have discussed in the constitutional treatment, irregularity of menses, yellow leukorrhea, constipation. If the patient is feeling that there is an expulsion of weed from the vagina during intercourse, the same symptom is in the lycopodium. Bearing down sensation and dislike for intercourse. CPI is very good remedy. A very good remedy, Thyroidinum 3x. This remedy sometimes very useful in conception, especially in cases of whenever there is any glandular disorders, inflammation of the uterus, or where even surgery failed to induce conception. Some of the patient underwent surgery for induced conception. Whenever this event occurs, you can prescribe Thyroidinum. Some mother tinctures are also there. Ternera Q. This is a mother tincture. If the patient has infertility on account of coldness to sex, indifference to sex, these ladies are indifferent to sex, we can prescribe Ternera mother tincture for these types of cases. Just about Viburnum opulus, I have told you that if the uterus is weak, it works as a uterine tonic. Some doctors declare that your uterus is weak, then and the patient comes that my doctor has told that my uterus is not working properly. At that time, you can prescribe the Viburnum opulus. Another one very good remedy. Some patient always comes with, there is a itching in the vulva with terrible itching. Blood comes when we scratches the particular region. And when we examine the patient, we can see that the vulva is very inflamed with terrible itching. And when we think that this is the cause of the infertility, at that time we can prescribe the Xerophyllum. This is a drug. Now, some notes regarding infertility in females. Due to the disease of the uterus like menses, leukorrhea, abnormality of the ovaries, fallopian tubes, correction of these defects generally leads to conception. If the infertility is due to the diseases of the uterus, if we correct this defect, the conception occurs. The second most important thing other than homeopathy, if we prescribe the vitamin A, these are the notes. Vitamin A with homeopathic treatment when no such defect in the cause. If the above causes are not there, that is the correction of defects, then we can prescribe vitamin A with the homeopathic treatment. It has been observed that the reproductive organs do not mature fully before the age of 19 years. And if the persons marry before the age of 19 years, if such people start their sex life earlier than this, 60% of such adolescent girls do not conceive or the pregnancies are ectopic. I observed that. So if the person starts sexual life after the age of 19 years, the person gets pregnant. Now, these are the remedies especially designed for the infertility related to the females. Now, some of the remedies which I found that me and my husband both are working on the infertility, and we have seen that some of the remedies, only few remedies I am explaining here, by which I got the results. So these are the remedies which are for the infertility in males. The first and the foremost drug, very good results, phosphorus. Whenever there is an irresistible sexual desire but no ability to perform the act, at that time, if the patient is telling you this symptom, the phosphorus is very good remedy. Another remedy, selenium mate. This remedy gives a very good result. And if the person is impotent, semen is thin, cold and odorless, and on attempting coition, penis relaxes. Increased desire with decreased ability. The selenium worked very well in 2 cases. Another remedy is thuja. In thuja, the patient has already suffered from syphilis or gonorrhea and is impotent. At that time, you can prescribe the thuja by closing your eyes. Thuja works very well when there is a history of syphilis or gonorrhea in the patient. A very good mother tincture. Please note down this mother tincture, Tribulus tertium Q. Discharge too quick, partial impotence on account of advanced age. If the patient is advanced age, the semen is weak, sperm absent or 2 count low, poor mobility of sperms. It cures almost all the abnormalities of the spermatozoa like coiled tail pieces, pairing, etc., which render the patient incapable of fertilizing the egg. The egg do not fertilize. The eggs do not fertilize because of the incapable of fertilizing the egg due to the coiled tail pieces. When you prescribe this mother tincture, 10 to 15 drops thrice daily, and you can get the results are in 4 to 6 months. A very good remedy, Tribulus ter. I have explained about the Ternera Q in the female infertility treatment. Here also, in male, Ternera mother tincture and the Damiana mother tincture. In the cases of impotency, if the sperms are absent, 10 drops in water thrice daily, you can get the result within 1 to 3 months. So these are about the different medicines which I have told you about. Now, there are some causes in which the follicles are not matured. For this, I have done a research on folliculinum 200. Here I am explaining you 4 cases in which I have prescribed folliculinum 200 and the follicles are matured and the patients get pregnant. So this was my study title, a study to assess the effectiveness of folliculinum 200 in the treatment of infertility. I have selected the cases of age group 20 to 40 years, and this was the prospective case series study. So in the introduction, and we have told, I have already told you that infertility is a common reproductive health issue that affects a significant number of individuals and couples worldwide. Nowadays, it is a very common problem. 1 in 6 couples face difficulty in conceiving, and now this is my main topic. Around 36 to 44% infertility in women is due to ovulatory dysfunction. Whenever the ovulation occurs, the pregnancy happens. If the ovum gets the sperm, the fertilization occurs and the patient gets pregnant. So the growth and maturation of ovarian follicles are crucial for the female reproductive system as it leads to the release of the mature egg during ovulation. If the growth of follicle does not occur as expected, it can contribute to infertility. This condition is often associated with ovulatory disorder where the ovaries fail to release mature eggs regularly. For this, I have done this research, and this study involves a series of cases where folliculinum 200, which is prepared from healthy tissues or secretion of the body, this is a SAR code, was administered with constitutional remedies. And the outcome was assessed in terms of menstrual regularity, hormonal balance, and fertility improvement. So the outcome was assessed on the basis of 3 points. If the menses becomes regular or not, hormonal imbalance has been cured or not, and the fertility improved or not. So regarding the folliculum, I am giving you some information. It is a very lesser known homeopathic remedy, but I got very good results with the help of folliculinum, and it plays homeopathic remedy that is derived from ovarian follicles, a sarcode, plays a major role in the treatment of infertility due to improper growth of follicles do not grow properly. As after the 14th day of menstruation, the follicle starts growing, and up to the 20th day, if the ovum gets the sperm, if the growth of the ovum is proper, they get fertilized, the egg is fertilized with the sperm, and pregnancy occurs. If the growth of the follicle is not proper, the patient is unable to conceive. So it is often associated with women's health and is used as a remedy for various menstrual and hormonal issues. Not only for the infertility, but it is also useful. Folliculinum is a drug which is also useful for menstrual irregularities, women experiencing irregular menstrual cycle, heavy or prolonged periods, or other menstrual disturbances. The another use of folliculinum is in the PMS. Symptom of PMS, mood swings, irritability, breast tenderness, and other emotional or physical symptom before menstruation. It is also very useful in menopausal symptom associated with menopause such as hot flushes, mood swings, and hormonal imbalances. And fertility issues, it is considered for women with fertility issues or those undergoing infertility treatment. It works very well for the fertility issues. If there is an hormonal imbalance, it is believed to have an impact on hormonal balance also, and may be suggested for women experiencing hormonal imbalance that affect their well-being. So folliculinum plays a very important role in all these conditions. Now my research question is that to what extent does folliculinum 200, a homeopathic remedy derived from ovarian follicle, influence hormonal balance and reproductive outcomes in women with infertility, and what are the associated factors contributing to its effectiveness or lack thereof? So this question I have kept in mind, and I have started my research, and in this research I kept my aim that to evaluate the effectiveness of folliculinum 200 in addressing infertility issues in female patient at the age group of 20 to 40 years. And what objectives were, the first and the important objective was to assess the success rate of folliculinum 200 in inducing ovulation by tracking ovulation patterns and confirming pregnancy over a 6-month treatment and follow-up period among the participants of the case series. Another objective to stimulate and regulate ovulation in women with irregular menstrual cycles with constitutional homeopathic treatment. I have prescribed not only the folliculinum 200, but I have also prescribed the constitutional homeopathic medicine with it. I have explained later. I will explain this later. And the third objective to identify the most effective dosage. What doses to be prescribed of folliculinum 200 so that it enhance the fertility in women. The most important objective of mine is to address lifestyle factor. Which lifestyle factors are affecting the infertility? I have also worked on that, and I have also provided emotional support for couples dealing with infertility related issue. So this was my aim, and these were my objective. What methodology I have used? This is so study design was prospective case study. I have included female of age group 20 to 40 years that I have already told. And the most thing in under inclusion criteria, I have collected only those cases which are infertile due to improper growth of follicles. Other causes I have excluded. So these are the inclusion criteria and these are the exclusion criteria. All other causes such as unknown infertility, congenital defect. But I have included cases of PCOS, endometriosis and chronic PID because I have told you in the folliculinum description that it also cures other diseases also. So with the help of this folliculinum 200, most of the patient got relief of PCOS, endometriosis and chronic PID. So I included those cases also. The patient with infertility and all these diseases. Data collected under the standardized case records, setting OPD of Homeopathic Medical College, population, women visiting the obstetric and gynecological OPD for infertility treatment. Sample, I have taken here only the 4 women diagnosed with infertility fulfilling the inclusion and exclusion criteria. And what I did on the first visit of each patient, case taking was done and along with USG was also performed. And after detecting that the patient's follicles are not maturing under the USG, I have taken a case properly, and after taking a case analysis and evaluation of symptom, the characteristic symptoms were considered for framing the totality, and repertorization was done by a complete repertory of home-based software. And the final selection of the remedy and prescription for each of the cases was based on the TOS of the patient and the repertorial results. Further, based on repertorial analysis and consulting homeopathic Matra Medica, the best suitable medicine was prescribed. So for the 4 patients of mine, I prescribed sepia, sulfur, lycopodium and medorinum along with folliculinum. So these are the 4 constitutional remedy which I have used, and whenever the patient came, I gave them stat dose of this constitutional remedy, and on the 10th day, I have prescribed, on the 10th day of the menses, I have prescribed the folliculinum. So the patient were advised to report at specific interval to assess the effects of the medicine. And the clinical progress of the patient as well as treatment outcomes was assessed with a focus on their symptomatology as well as the USG finding. Whatever is happening in the symptomatology and what were the USG finding. So the first case is of a lady of 35 years presented with secondary infertility for the past 4 years. She had normal vaginal delivery 9 years ago. She had been trying for a second child for the past 4 years. In between this period, there was no history of conception or abortions. Along with infertility, she was also suffering from repeated left-sided headache, aggravated by head bath, cold weather, and working in cold. These are the characteristic symptoms which I considered. She had a wart on her chest. Her menses were regular with normal flow. She had undergone hormone replacement therapy, followed by intrauterine insemination. So for this, I have taken a case in detail, and the TOS was found based on the symptom. The patient was chilly with susceptibility to cold. She has desire for salty food, sleeplessness due to some unknown fear, forgetfulness, commit mistake while writing, also omits letter, discontent with everything, very commanding and dictatorial by nature, and cannot tolerate contradiction. The case was repertorized by the complete repertory of homeopathy software, and after consulting Matra Medica, CPR 200 was prescribed stat. Immediately, the CPR 200 was given with folliculinum 200 to be started on the 10th day of menses up to 14th day. For the 5 days, the folliculinum 200 was prescribed, and the lady conceived after 3 months of treatment. So I will show you detail in a summary. So this is the repertorization chart of that particular lady, in which you can see the different remedies. The case 2 was of a primary infertility. The patient was a 28-year-old lady. The couple was planning for the baby since 5 years. She also had dysmenorrhea before and during menses. Along with this, thin leukorrhea before menses was one of her other main symptoms. A thorough case taking was carried out, which reflected important physical journals like the desire for meat and milk. I have considered this desire for meat and milk with constipated and hard stool. Regarding the mental symptom, it was found that the patient was irritable, hasty, restless, quarrelsome, and cannot tolerate injustice. So, in the past, she had suffered from chronic diarrhea and recurrent fever. Her mother had PID and cholelithiasis. This is the history of the patient. So, the case was repertorized by the complete repertory again, and the remedy which I got was sulfur 200. Dose was prescribed with folliculinum in the same pattern. I have started folliculinum 200 on the 10th day of menses to 14th day. Actually, I cannot show all the details of the patient in 1 hour time. So I'm giving you in a brief. Sulfur dose was given stat, and it was told to the patient that you can start this folliculinum 200 while on the 10th day of menses to 14th day. The lady conceived after repeated treatment was given. Folliculinum 200 was repeated consecutively 3 months, and after 3 months of treatment, as the urine examination shows, pregnancy test was positive, and the USG shows a single live fetus of about 14 weeks. This is the repertorial chart of that particular lady. Now the case 3. This is a case of primary infertility. Patient was 25-year-old and the couple was planning for the past 5 years, presented with delayed menses, scanty, thin, pale menstruation, and associated with backache and mild dysmenorrhea ameliorated by pressure. She is very irritable and stubborn, has a low self-esteem. Lack of confidence is well marked. She has anticipatory anxiety, especially about upcoming events. I think the medicine came in your mind or challenges. She always worry excessively about how she will perform and fear being judged by others. Her physical generals were hot patient, susceptibility to cold, thirstless, desire for sweets and aversion to milk. So her mental symptom developed after marriage when she could not adjust herself in her in-laws' house. She developed a fear of adjustment, committing mistakes, being criticized, and impending diseases. So this case was also repertorized by the complete repertory of Homepath software. Lycopodium 200 was prescribed stat with folliculinum 200 in the same way. I have always prescribed the folliculinum 200 on the 10th day of menses. What it does? Folliculinum, what it does? It increases the size of the follicle and which required for the fertilization, the size which is required for the fertilization with the sperm. So it is the role of the folliculinum increasing the size of the follicle. And the 20 millimeter is the size of the follicle which is required for the fertilization. And I have in the first month, I got failure. In the second month, I got failure because the pregnancy test was negative. But in the third month, which finally resulted in pregnancy. So I didn't get result in 1 month. I always got result in either 2 months, 3 months or 4 months. So I did this research in 6 months. For 6 months, I did research and I found that the patient gets pregnant with the help of folliculinum. This is the repertory sheet of that particular lady. This is a case 4. Because of lack of time, I think I am going fast. So this is a case 4. This is a case of a primary infertility. The patient was 32 years old and they are also trying for the baby for 6 years. Menses were regular with normal flow, red fluid blood, dysmenorrhea aggravated during and before menses. A thorough case taking was done, which revealed physical journals such as hot patient, desire for chocolate and ice cream. In the past, she had suffered from recurrent leukorrhea with pruritus vulva, which started after marriage. Now, what I considered here, her father had a brain tumor, her husband had gonorrhea 5 years ago, for which he took allopathic treatment. Hence, history and family history were very significant, which guided the case for selection of remedy. So what I have selected here, as this case was too deficient in general symptom, I didn't get lots of general symptoms here, but its strong peculiar characteristic anamnesis indicate a deep antipsychotic miasmatic medicine. So I prescribed medorinum in 1 potency with similar routine my folliculinum 200 to be started on the 10th day of menses up to 14th day. Because before taking this patient, I have selected only those patients which have the problems of abnormal growth or follicles are not growing properly up to the proper size. So I have selected only those cases. So for 4 patients, I have prescribed the medicine like this, and I have repeated this cycle only for 2 months, and the final resulted in pregnancy. So this is the repertory sheet of that particular lady. And now my findings are there. You can see in the findings, all the findings are there when the treatment had been started and what medicines were given, pre-treatment and post-treatment. I have also mentioned here. So in the first case, the follicle size increased up to 20 millimeter and rupture and the UPT came positive. The same thing in the second case, follicle size increased up to 18 millimeter and it fertilized with the sperm and the result came in 2-3 months. Follicle size also in the third case, follicle size also in the fourth case. Everything is given in this chart. So whenever you see this session in the YouTube, you can see all the details, what was the size and now what is the size. Clear? So these are my findings and these are the sonographies of those patients, the size of the ovum, size of the follicle increased. So these are the my sonography reports of my patients and what findings other than this. So all the 4 cases registered in this case series study became pregnant after the treatment in 2, 3, 4 and 5 months. And I have also find out that folliculinum 200 is effective in addressing infertility issues in female patients that I have mentioned. And when folliculinum 200 single dose when given at only bedtime for 5 days. Now this is the dose which I have not told you till now, but folliculinum 200 single dose when given at only bedtime for 5 days from 10th day of menses increases the size of the follicle up to minimum size required to get pregnant. A single dose of constitutional medicine was also given at the commencement of treatment. Please listen, at the commencement of treatment, only single dose of constitutional medicine is given, and on the 10th day of menses, folliculinum was started. It also plays a very good role associated with folliculinum. Lifestyle modification boost infertility. I have told many of my patients to modify their lifestyle and it also boosted their infertility. Emotional support to women dealing with infertility related stress can increases the chances of pregnancy. When we give support to women who are dealing with the infertility related stress, it also increases the chances of pregnancy. So these were my findings. If we modify the lifestyle, we support emotionally. Now conclusion. This is the conclusion of my research. Ki the persons who are infertile, when we prescribe folliculinum 200, demonstrated promising outcomes with a significant number of participants achieving pregnancy within the study period. And when I have given this remedy, the treatment was generally well tolerated with minimal side effects reported, indicating a favorable safety profile, and participants expressed high level of satisfaction with folliculinum, citing improvements in menstrual regularity and overall well-being. These findings suggest that folliculinum may offer a variable alternative or complementary treatment option for certain women experiencing infertility, particularly those who prefer non-conventional therapies. For the ladies who prefer non-conventional therapies, this homeopathic remedy works very well. Another conclusion point is that while our study provides valuable insights into the potential benefits of folliculinum for treating infertility, it is important to acknowledge limitation. This is the limitation that I have not kept the control group and very relative small number of participants I have taken, as these factors limit our ability to draw a definitive conclusion. In 4 cases, how can we draw the definitive conclusion about the efficacy and safety of folliculinum? So this is my limitation I am telling you. So the observed efficacy and safety profile of folliculinum underscore the need for its consideration in the broader spectrum of fertility treatment. So whatever efficacy I have observed and safety profile of this drug underscore the need for consideration in the broader spectrum of fertility treatment. We can consider it for the broader spectrum of fertility treatment. It needs, folliculinum needs. So by highlighting the potential of folliculinum as a safe and satisfactory treatment option, this study opens new avenues for research and clinical practice. If anyone wants to do the research on this study opens new avenues, moving us closer to a more inclusive and holistic approach to fertility care. To build on the findings of this case series, future research should aim to. I am suggesting you, future research should aim to conduct RCT, randomized control trials with larger participant groups. Actually, I have considered only the 4 cases which I have presented, but if anyone wants to do, this is also my limitation, you can do with the larger participant groups to more definitely ascertain the efficacy and safety of folliculinum in the treatment of infertility. And also, you can also do the randomized comparative study, what homeopathic therapy gives and what conventional therapy gives with a suitable sample size. If the sample size is proper, your research will be good. It's suggested for further advancement in this record. So this is all about my today's presentation. Actually, I have ended very earlier. If you have any questions,
And thank you, Dr. Arpana Felix. It's really a very good session indeed. You have really bring up with some of the best cases also and how homeopathy works in those conditions. Can you hear me, doctor?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Particularly your work on folliculum is really excellent, and this kind of studies are the need of the hour, and we need to uh, promote this kind of sessions also, because we have lot of most I must say that more than 70% of the homeopathic doctors are from women's from the female fraternity, and they are doing excellent practice, so that if we are educate them in a better way, they will become a very good specialists in this field. We have a lot of doctors in Kerala doing such wonders with homeopathic medicine in the field of infertility. Dr. Rema Devi Ambadi, she is here, and Dr. Shanda Chandran. All these doctors have more than 2,000 successful cases in their kitty, I must say, because that much of success rate. Even a junior doctor very recently joined in our Zoom, and she got very good connectivity with these doctors, and she told us that she has even successful cases more than 60 within the span of 6 months after joining these Zoom sessions. So that much of dedication, the faculties like you are giving back to our juniors and seniors also, because we are the purpose of International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy is to promote homeopathy among public also. So all these videos will reach among public, and naturally those people who are not aware of homeopathy and they will get the result from, they can consult a doctor in their local side, or somebody in the expert in the field in homeopathy, and they can also get a good result. Even government sector in Kerala is doing a wonderful job in that way. Janani, a project called Janani, which is working in a beautiful way here. A lot of more than 500 successful cases in a single hospital, and government sector is happening here. So anyway, it's you not only you simply told about the constitutional medicines, but why these medicines are written in Boric. There are rare remedies which works wonders in this field. So those medicines need to be used in those cases specifically. That means some of your prescriptions went up with the pathological prescription. But there is a reason behind prescribing such remedies in situations. So that is the beauty of your presentation. Congratulating you, doctor. What is your success rate in this field?
In this field, 90%
In this
success
field,
rate.
in the field of infertility, you are a specialist in this field, or you are doing all kind of
All kinds of patient I see.
yes, yes. I invited Dr. Rema before going to Dr. Rema Devi Ambadi. Dr. Ritu Maru has raised hand. Yes, Dr. Ritu, you can ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Ma'am, I want to know how to administer folliculinum in ladies who have late menstrual cycles, like women who are not menstruating on time.
Who are not
I have such
menstruating.
cases, ma'am. I have such cases, ma'am. They are taking estrogen or estradiol before menstruating every time.
So
Since
first,
puberty.
So first you regularize their cycles with the help of
Yes,
constitutional
ma'am. So
medicine.
how to? Yeah, yes, ma'am.
You first
So how
regularize
to?
their cycle, and when the cycles have been regularized, after that you can start the folliculinum on the. And sometimes I have seen that whenever I have prescribed folliculinum, not considering the 10th day of menses or anything, I have prescribed folliculinum for regularizing the menstruation. It also works. So for
Okay.
regularizing the menstruation, first you give constitutional remedy. If the constitutional remedy doesn't work, you can start the folliculinum 200. And I am telling you that you can get the result with the help of this prescription. Folliculinum also regularize the menstrual cycle. Sometimes,
ma'am, in such
actually, I
case,
understood your question, but if you do in this way, you can get the results also.
one more question, ma'am. Ma'am, please differentiate about folliculinum and oophorinum. I'm really confused about that.
Oophorinum is derived from ovary.
Ji.
And it is from the and folliculinum is, I have told you already, from the secretions. You go into the detail in Sarco's group. You can get the information. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
It's a very good question and very good answer. Now it is up to Dr. Rema Devi Ambari. Welcome, madam.
Hello, can you hear? Aparna, it was very nice session. See, in my this one, no?
It is Arpana, not Aparna. It is Arpana, Dr. Arpana.
Arpana. Oh, Arpana.
Yes, yes.
Arpana, it's a very nice session. See, you have told no, 30% will be male and 30% will be female. 30% both. Then 10% will be the without any cause. All their functions, sexual act as well as the pathological, nothing is seen. Only they are infertile. Then in that case, what I will do, you know, I will ask them to go for a tour or do for a pilgrimage. Or if they are not able to do that, I will ask them to change the room. Or if even that is not possible, means I will ask them to change their position, cot or position like that. That will make some difference. Then you can try that also. Then if they are going to some tour and all, they will have different. Have you heard that after going to Parani or after going to the Velankanni and all, we got children. That their circumstance made them more happy, and the hormonal level was all right. Then we will ask them to go for that also. You can try. Then next thing, you told no follicular you will give on 10th day. If their LH and FSH are reduced, I used to give on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th day 6 doses BD. FSH 200, and on 11th and 12th I used to give LH 200, 4 doses. Then all the other days I used to give this folliculinum. That also works very well. You can try that.
Good advice, ma'am. Very good advice. I will also follow this. And one thing I also want to mention here that there are some stubborn infertility. All the investigations are normal. Still, the patients are not conceiving. There are two remedies. One is sepia and another one is onosmodium.
Onosmodium as well as borax also.
Borax also, but I have observed in my cases, sepia also very works well when there is a stubborn infertility. All the investigations are normal, but I have prescribed onosmodium in CM potency.
Onosmodium we can give both sexes. They will be having some sexual aversion to sex or diminished desire for love sex or diminished enjoyment. For that we can give onosmodium. For both of them we can give. And as well as onosmodium, I used to give. If they are complaining of this particular thing, I used to give onosmodium as well as ashwagandha. Ashwagandha tincture also.
It also works very well, ma'am. Ashwagandha.
For both of them, I will give
as a uterine tonic. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, your knowledge is also very vast.
Very nice, Arpana. Come again.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and now I invite Dr. Rampare sir to say vote of thanks to the session also. As the time is, yes, please unmute. Please unmute. Yes. Yes, please
Thank
unmute.
you. Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Dhaneji. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Dhaneji, and congratulations, Dr. Arpana madam. Very good
Thank you,
session.
sir. Thank you.
Excellent
Thank you very
session.
much.
Describe the fertility and case presentation. Beauty of solution. Very
Thank
good
you, sir.
select remedy. Many kinds of remedy. Fertility. Ipia, sulfur, and best remedy folliculinum. Very good. And onosmodium is a very good remedy. And caladium.
Caladium also.
Caladium. Caladium is a very good remedy in fertility and impotency. So very thanks, Arpana madam. Behalf
Welcome,
of
sir. Welcome.
IFPS, very thanks. Again presentation. Thank you. Whole team IFPS, very thanks.
I am very much thankful to the IFPS team for inviting me as a guest speaker here. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Very thanks.
Yes, Dr.
Okay, sir.
Arpana,
Thank you.
Parik, Sandeep, we really want some more presentation. Some of your successful cases need to be shared in this short form because of that will give a big boost to our doctors in the not only to doctors, the coming generations also. So
Thank you.
hope we can have some presentation. Thank you,
Okay, sir.
Dr.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Arpana, and those who attended the session. And tomorrow we will have a session from Dr. Shaji Kudiyat in this forum. The subject is a role of women as mothers for the development of healthy new generation. That's another subject connected with today's presentation. Our presenter will be our Vice President, Dr. Shaji Kudiyat from Philippines. Thank you all. Good night. It's over to Dr.
Thank you.
Mariamma George to moderate the Malayalam session.
നന്ദി ധനേഷ് ഡോക്ടർ. എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം.
Doctor,